good infrastructure. All of that means no money. Give anybody that, they'll be a good vice chancellor. So you want to make me a good vice chancellor? Make sure that the staff are happy, the students are happy, and there's modern infrastructure. I wouldn't have to do nothing. I won't have to do nothing. Everything will just go smoothly. But I will tell you, as a national university, don't let us depend on government alone to make this the place we wanted it to be. It's a university that belongs to every one of us. So I want to invite the national community. Come and spend some time here. Come and teach our students how to sing, how to debate, how to do poetry, how to swim, how to play music. Come and teach them something that will make them wholesome. Leave the academics to us, but call the PRO, call the Vice Chancellor. I want 1 hour a week to teach the students, to teach them that. And that's what will make us a national university. In a recent argument with some of my staff, and we do argue a lot, I tell you, I said I want to open up this university where people can come in the evening and just relax and do nothing. They don't have to have ID card because this is a national asset. They said, but security, if more people come here, the security issue will be less because there's a lot of traffic of people moving in and out. I challenge the government. Why do you put the national infrastructure away from UG? Put it inside UG. So members of the national community, if you have an idea of how to make this university a great place, please come to us. We facilitate you because we want more persons to come here. Because when people go through here, and we don't know what we're dealing with, when your children become 25 and they are graduating, so much is expected from them. I tell people my son went to work when he was 29. The week before he has to go to work is hell in that house. How to teach him how to put on a tie. Daddy, how do I write a memo? How do I do this? How do I do that? Therefore, we need a university that will prepare our young ones to face the real world, to face the real challenges. And our lecturers can't do that alone. And I will do something again. Let me recognize those persons, dead and alive, who kept UG up to 50 years. Give them a round of applause. Because when you look at the amount of stone being thrown at this staff, the amount of bad talking, Guyanese are the worst person to call this UG a bad place. The amount of stone they throw at them, and they never jump the ship and leave. And I'm telling you, I'm 2.5 months here, we have received 5 resignations. And we have to stop that from happening. Let people be proud that they are part of this whole process. I am aware of several universities that has disappeared over the night. I'm aware that some who call themselves university in Guyana right now, they're thinking of how to leave. I inherited a 50 years university. And it is my prayer that somebody else will inherit this university when it's 100 years old.
The last time I can recall an African wind blowing through this campus was one day we were having a laboratory experiment going on in physics, and someone shouted, "Nelson Mandela has been freed!" And I thought, what happened? And the whole place just lit up. The librarian had to phone and say, "What's all the noise about? You're disturbing the students." I said, "Nelson Mandela has been freed. Everything should freeze while we celebrate that." And so I'm very glad to welcome the Vice-Chancellor, who's clearly bringing a new wind to the campus. Thank you once more.
Today, we are 5,600 plus. God is on our side. If we intend to celebrate 100 years, we have to get our acts together. For it is said that God helps those who help themselves. We will build UG. We will build Guyana, but we cannot do it alone. The student body therefore calls on all other stakeholders to education, for you are the ones who benefit in the long run. I close with one of my favorite quotes. Education should never be a gift for the rich and a dream for the poor. May God bless the University of Guyana.
Thank you very much. Now we'll have the Campus Crusade for Christ. Are they here?
I was here for 10 years, from 1980 to 1990, and I was asked to share a few words of inspiration as a Baha'i. Sister Moniz already this morning has made us reflect. Ozzy made us smile. Paloma made a few of us cry. And the VC made us laugh, and he made us think. I'd like just for a minute to try to continue what the VC did, more with the laughing and hopefully later on with the thinking. My office used to be just a and I've been here for 10 years and I thought now's the time that I should go and try and get my PhD. I went to London and I went to a lecture room, maybe half the size of this, but it was packed. And the psychologist gave up and gave a very erudite talk and I couldn't understand a word he was saying. And everybody else was taking notes and I felt very self-conscious and I thought at least I have to write something down, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. So I thought the best thing to do is to copy someone. So I looked across at the girl sitting next to me and as soon as I peeped across, she covered it over very carefully. And then I thought she must have some good answers there that she's prepared to hide it. So then I tapped her on the shoulder and said, I think that's your boyfriend out there. She jumped up, she left her paper, and on her paper were 3 onions, 4 tomatoes, 3 pounds of potatoes. And I thought, now I know how you have to do and how to get a PhD in London. And then I didn't feel so bad about having been here in Guyana. I thought, yeah, I can work this system. And then this man went on for another hour. He didn't stop and still no one understood. And then the girl on the other side of me got up and gave a great round of applause, and I'm looking at her to see if she's been sarcastic. And I couldn't quite read her because I'd been out of Britain too long. And then she sat down and I said, what did he say? She said it was so good you couldn't understand anything. And that was a little bit like my decade here at UG. But I was asked to give inspiration. So there's some words of Baha'u'llah, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith. He said, regard man as a mine rich in gems of inestimable value. Education can alone cause it to reveal its treasures and enable mankind to benefit therefrom. So the only thing that the government of Guyana should really be addressing is the education of our people. And if we neglect it, then we neglect the nurturing of the gems that this country surely produces. But that's... There are 1 billion people illiterate in the world today. So the 6th person in the world cannot read. We could debate the figures, but the challenge is clearly enormous, a great deal more than UG's. So minor changes are not the answer. We need a fundamental redefinition of what education is, and we need a reconceptualization of what literacy means. I believe that the children not only of Guyana, but across the world have been robbed. They've been robbed of their creativity by the way that we deposit information. They've been robbed of their self-respect by being lectured, and they've been robbed, particularly in Guyana, of their youth by lessons. A famous psychologist, John Holt, wrote a book that became one of these bestsellers, and the first line of that book says, "Most children in school fail." Because the tradition across the world is that the teacher knows and the child is ignorant. The teacher is the one who lectures and the child is the one who's supposed to listen. The teacher's supposed to be the one who educates and the child is supposed to be educated. But that leads across the world to passive, bored, frustrated children. We need to believe in their potential, as the words of Baha'u'llah tell us. And we need to see how do we stimulate, whether in our nursery school, our primary school, secondary school, or university, how do we nurture a thirst for knowledge and a thirst for truth, so that we investigate truth for ourselves and we don't inherit the ideas of our forefathers? How do we learn to be creative and to trust in our potential? How do we learn to consult? And perhaps most importantly, how do we learn to listen to one another? We need to reflect a little bit to see what does it mean really to be educated. We need to help our students move from being mere spectators to becoming the principal actors. For so many, they're the objects of what we do and they need to become the subjects. I believe across the world, we need to be wary of the conquest of the learner, of the manipulation of the learner, and of the invasion of the culture of the learner. We need instead, whether it's UG or whatever forum, we need to become the awakeners of the learner, to see the people who are in front of us as a rich source of knowledge and experience, and to understand that our role is to release the potential within both their minds and their hearts, so that in turn they will become truly participants in building a new world order. And maybe at the end of the day we need to think, what is a graduate from... And perhaps their mantra should be that really happiness and self-respect comes primarily through service to mankind. In my 10 years, in difficult years, they were the days of the 1980s, and we don't need to go and catalogue that. But while I was here, I worked with Yvonne Stevenson, Rupert Rupnerine, Father Rodrigues, Sister Noel, Jocelyn Lonk, and others. And I truly salute your vision, your example, and your selfless service.
Dr. O'Toole just reminded me of when I lectured to the teachers on the Faculty of Education in the sciences. I always used to say to them, to be a good teacher is when you raise a simple original question coming from a student and treat it as the best you've ever heard. The moment you use the words, you're talking rubbish, the blinds come down and that student will not ask another question, and you'll put an end to her or him gaining knowledge. Knowledge is based on encouraging the question. We are questioning beings. No animal goes in search of the best food. We can go in search of the best food. We can go in search of knowledge by the questions we have. I always used to say to my class, if I put a rose here and ask you to write and say what impressions this is creating on you, I would see the sort of question you posed when you looked at it. Is it an object of love? Is it an artistic creation? Is it just a flower? Do you know the species? Do you know the genus? And so forth. And let them see the multiple questions that could emerge. Question is the secret to all knowledge. Unless you're prepared to ask it and take that step, you will remain stationary. And teachers should be the ones who encourage as many questions as possible from their students. Thank you, Mr. O'Toole. That is an important point you've raised, and I think we should stress that. You know, they're not empty buckets that we're meant to be filling. They are creative beings who need to have that facility enlightened and move forward, that they must do the talking, they must do the questioning. Good. Having said that now, I will move to the final musical item for the collage. Atasia, Christian Sobers, and Leron Souvenir. Please give them a very special welcome.
Established so we can have an institution to call our own of higher learning. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now the whole team here. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We've done, now the whole team's here. Yeah. We started from the bottom, now we're here. From the bottom. We started from the bottom, now the whole team here. We started from the bottom. And no, it's written in the stars, a million miles away, a message to the man. Oh, oh, your season's coming up, but I will never change, 'cause I'm on my way. I said I'm on my way. Yeah, I said I'm on my way. My mama told me the history that I didn't know. Coming into an institution of higher learning to find myself in this place, in this world, to come and have something to be, something to contribute back to society. Because you see, in order to find me, I had to learn the basics of the world. And something that can help me realize that there is more to be than just me. And I was intrigued by her words when she said back in the days, it was only just $100 just to come and get it. Now we paid $100,000. Hey, we made it, yeah. So we have a raise it up to this neighbor street. We started from 164 and now we 5,000 strong, and we 5 to 3 and look at us now, we going on. And even though we got some minor improvements, and we taking it by step by step, we're trying to do it, and we're moving different lives, trying different things, making all the career choices that we had to ride. From the bottom, now we here, the bottom. Look at what we've done, now the whole team's here. We started from the bottom, now we here, from the bottom. Look at what we've done, now the whole team here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Yeah. Look at what we come, now the whole team's here. We started. Yeah. Oh, and oh, it's written in the stars, a million miles away. Shoot a man, oh, oh. Your season's coming out, but I will never change. Said I'm on my way. It's written, yeah. Said I'm on my way, yeah. Said it's written, yeah. See, I'm a proud student, yes, and even though I got some mind improvements on myself, like how to manage studying, 'cause if I miss my lecture off, it's gonna be a little straining. Let's take a look next for history. We came for nothing, look at us. We making movements, now we pulling that stronger. Making the plane, giving these children that's coming in a reason to believe in anything, that they can be anything they want to be. Yep, and they're saying, come on, we couldn't do it without them. These lecturers and all the higher heads, come on, put it together. Let's make the stance movements, it's not an improvement. I mean, it's a blessing to have something we can hold on to and call our own. Like an institution like this, where we can always fly out and find the different highlights and degrees, but we don't just stand here to make it. We need a platform, something to go out and link this, but listen, we can't do it alone. We need to join hands and making it strong. It's all written in the stars, a million miles away. away. A million miles. A message to the man. Oh, oh. Yes, seasons come and go. They come and go. But I will never change. Never, ever. See, I'm on